I'm Bryan Eagle. I'm the CEO of Glanris, and I'm not the inventor of this product. The inventor, this came out of research done at a local university here, where they were trying to answer the question, what do we do with all the ag waste that's produced across the river in Arkansas? We're in Memphis, Tennessee. This is a very agricultural area. We're the start of the Mississippi Delta right here. So Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, this is all very rich agricultural area. It's the thing that ultimately got me most excited about it. Today, most of the hulls worldwide are burned in the fields. So, if you've ever been to, India in the fall and the cities are filled with smog, most of that comes from burning rice hulls in the fields. So if we can get them to stop burning those in the fields, pyrolyze them through this process that we've got, and turn it into a water filtration media, not only do you stop the, really billions of pounds of greenhouse gases that are produced every year, but now you're turning that into a stable carbon. So you've now removed that from the carbon cycle, and you sequester carbon with that media for the next 10,000, 100,000 years.
I mean,
so,
it's absolutely brilliant, and
it
will have positive repercussions for where you are in Memphis. But I imagine actually in a lot of the countries where rice is grown across Asia, which in many cases are developing countries, it could be huge.
Yeah, so we're in the rice belt here. Across the river, they grow over 2 billion pounds of rice, or produce, 2 billion pounds of rice hulls a year in the process of producing rice.
I had absolutely no idea
Yeah. But rice is grown globally. It's grown in the EU as well. So, Italy produces about 60% of the rice consumed in the EU. Portugal, Spain, southern France, even Greece are major rice producers. All around that sort of Mediterranean base of major rice producers. And then, of course, Egypt, India, Vietnam, the Philippines, China, everywhere you grow rice, you can produce this water filtration media very inexpensively, and as I said, use it for soil augmentation if you want to do that, or use it for water filtration media. Either way, you're going to stop the pollution. You're going to sequester carbon, and you're going to do that in a completely green and sustainable manner. So, again, it's a global problem. We've got a global solution, and we're not just going to be manufacturing it here. I mean, behind me is a 60,000 square foot facility where we're producing today, but our plan is absolutely to be producing this globally. Everywhere they grow rice, we want to have our equipment and be able to take those rice hulls, which is a waste product, largest ag waste product in the world. 218 billion pounds of rice hulls are produced every year. Wow. We want to take that and convert it from a product that they burn to a product that has a circular economy application, solving water security and water scarcity.
Wow. So something stands out to me in this story, and that is that it was an ecosystem that was connected that actually caused this company to be created. It wasn't, you were the one who first had the idea. It came from a university professor, then he had to connect with someone in the water, then they connected you to the mayor, or the mayor connected with you. In any case, that's a really, to me, what sounds like a really good ecosystem of connections for innovation to happen. Now, was that because of the innovation hub that you built that happened, or how did that happen?
Absolutely. And that's why I did it, because I had seen firsthand, having commercialized a company inside a similar type of ecosystem, how valuable that was. Now, when we were building that company in the late 90s, again, telecom related business, anything we needed to know, there was somebody somewhere, either in the incubator, in the ecosystem of the incubator, or attached to the university, that could help us answer that question. What a fabulous resource. So whether it was like, hey, I need a good IP attorney that understands this, somebody touched that already. We're looking at this software test platform. Has anybody ever used this before? Somebody somewhere had touched that. And it again, the term accelerator is used a lot, but I'm telling you, that really helped us to accelerate our business tremendously, because we got stuff answered, with a snap of the fingers. We really got spoiled in that program. And what I discovered coming back to Memphis is, when I bought the building and sort of opened it up, I, just expecting all this stuff to sort of, pop out of the box. It doesn't pop out of the box. It took years to really build that ecosystem, to get connected with the universities, to get connected with the local businesses, to have them understand the value of all of this. And I just have to tell you, I mean, we went to Fedex initially when we started this, and asked them, to be involved. And they said, there's no way I'd want to be involved in that. And I said, you guys are like the poster child for entrepreneurship. Why wouldn't you want to be involved in this? And they said, well, the reason is, you're going to get some of our best people to leave and start their own businesses. You're going to attract them away from us. And I said, they're going to do that anyway. You want them to stay in Memphis and do that. Not what they were doing already, which is going to Silicon Valley or New York or wherever. You want them to stay here so that you build those knowledge-based jobs and companies here. And the guy that was running IT at the time just said, nah, sorry. Luckily for us, Rob Carter, who I absolutely love, who became the CEO of Fedex, and somebody said, well, you ought to go talk to Rob about this. So I went out and talked to Rob about it, and he was like, hell yeah, I want to be involved in this. This stuff is fabulous. I mean, we need this in the city. And so, but it took finding the right people. It took time. It took evolution. You had to see some successes happen, and then people go, oh, okay. And in one of life's great ironies that I just love, that guy at FedEx who said he would never support this, thought it was a bad idea, left, went to a venture firm in California, and then returned back to Memphis years later and bought one of the companies that graduated from our incubator.
No.
So, absolutely. And so, we proved the point, that it does take time, and that we can actually create value even for those that are pretty skeptical of it. So, yeah, I'm a big believer in it takes a village, whether that's raising children or building businesses. You can't do this on your own.
No.
You really, well, I mean, you could, but it's very hard.
Yeah.
It's much better when you try to get, connected. And as I said, it really fuels innovation in a way that shortens the time to get a lot of stuff done.
But I think it also demonstrates that when we see a company launch and we see a fantastic new idea, that's just the tip of the iceberg. And, in every story, there's often years of grit and hustle and work and commitment that went into it that we don't see, but which is what it takes to bring those ideas into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of unsung heroes too.
Absolutely.
I mean, I can attest to that in some of the other companies that I've touched in my life. where I wasn't the CEO, but one of the, sort of founding team members, or, one of the early members. Everybody knows who the CEO is, but, what I've seen several times is these companies hit pivot points, and what got them, to become successful and to really, change what they were doing, there was somebody else in the company that came up with the idea for that pivot, and how to move forward. And, and if you hadn't had that person in there and hadn't had that team dynamic, these companies would not be successful. So, it really is a team effort, and it's true here as well. I mean, it's I wouldn't be here without Dr. Lin, who was the inventor, wouldn't be here without Tom, who was the guy that Dr. Lin brought in, who had the experience in the water business, wouldn't be here without A.C. Wharton, who's our mayor. I mean, it just, all these sort of ripple effects. It's very much, I always look at that very much as the sort of butterfly effect. And the other thing is, luck has a lot to do with it too. As I mentioned, I've been a part of 12 ventures already. Not all of them worked. And, when I look back on, well, why did that one work versus that one which failed? And I have to answer many, many times that there was some amount of luck or kismet, something happened. You met somebody, you ran into somebody, it just happened upon something that led you to, whatever that next big thing is. And it happens more than I think a lot of, CEOs want to admit, because, it doesn't, I guess, polish your image if you say, well, I was just really lucky. But the fact of the matter is, being lucky is a big part about being in the right place at the right time, and being able to sort of, commercialize upon that. And I think, sort of the broader your ecosystem is, the more opportunities you expose yourself to. And I think that sort of expands that sort of luck
dynamic.